All right, let's do a little update.
Yeah, we've been just plugging away a little bit. I've got the booster. Gave it a little bit of a spruce up. The S2000 clutch master cylinder has been put in. A little bit of the wiring's come through the firewall, not in its correct spot yet because other parts have to go around it. Fuse box is put in over there.
Show the proportion valve.
Oh yeah, there. And countersink a little bit of 10mm round head bolts in there.
Look how cool that looks. They're just counterbored. Drops right in there. A little cleaner.
Yeah, there's no bolt head on the outside at all.
Also, what I'm doing over here, we're going to build a full titanium exhaust on this car. Well, you've seen in the past, the titanium mufflers that we use are really small, almost like a resonator. Well, for a while, we've been wanting to build our own. So here, we rolled some titanium right now. Seam welded it here. These are the end plates. I'm going to build another one. And it's going to have basically offset. It's going to come in high and out low. It's going to have a 3.5-inch tip, which will be about this size. It'll be a little bit shorter, maybe here. But by saving weight, obviously the titanium is about 1/3 of the weight. But I wasn't really happy with those little miniature resonators for this car. All right, give you a little update what's going on in here. So some of these bolts we are changing. We're showing you a little bit of detail under here. This is the AC evaporator, and yes, we could take it out, but in the event down the road if somebody wants to put air conditioning back in, this is like the most complicated thing to put in and find because it incorporates into the heater core. The rest of the parts you can obtain, buy them used, buy them new, you know, build them yourself. So this, I'm going to build a little block off for it, and I was going to use aluminum, but I found a piece of scrap carbon fiber, and again, you can't really see it, but it looks kind of trick, and it's lightweight, and it's easy to work with, so it's has a lot of properties. So I want to go ahead and make that shape. What I'm going to do is make it a little bit larger than the aluminum. I'm going to make it about the size of the rubber, so when it goes over, it, you know, covers that whole thing. So let me show you how I'm going to do that. So you see people in videos when they want to look fancy, you know, they bring out fancy tools like this. It just looks way more impressive than using a ruler. Well, one of the reasons I'm using this is if I put a ruler flat across here, this all sticks out. So there is actually a reason why I'm using the big complicated things. So I'm going to run this about half and half like this. I'll make a strip that wide. All right, so that is my rectangle piece right there. Now this is not square, it's rounded. So how do you match this? Well, the easiest way is to find something that is about the same diameter. Well, if I was matching this here, this bottle cap is actually pretty close. If you lay it out on there, it's about the same radius. Well, I need something bigger to go around this rubber, so let me find something a little larger. So that's pretty close. All right, so that gives you an idea. And again, save your precision, time-consuming things for what really matters. This is just a block off, but we want it to look reasonable, so that's pretty close. Let me cut this and sand it. We'll see how it looks. All right, so this is the piece shaped. It's gonna sit right there and line it up. So you see how cool it looks? Kind of looks like it's supposed to be there. Sharpie. So all you're gonna do is color in that edge. And the nice thing about this is it's permanent. And because the edge is exposed, it kind of dyes the edge. So it doesn't wash off. And again, it's super easy. Yes, you could take it to your body shop and spend half the day making this black. And again, this is one of our TLC things. So I gotta keep in mind, we can't spend forever doing this. You know, everything is about doing it within a timely manner. You know, obviously it has to look decent, but this is one of those little detail things that most people won't see, but the person that really knows what they're looking for, and of course the person that's watched this video is going to know I did it. You see that? The camera's focusing on me because it's set to focus on my face, but now it's not a white edge. All right, here's our finished piece. And again, it doesn't take a lot of time, but it makes, you know, a big difference, and it's carbon fiber, so brake booster is going back in. Like we talked about, the vacuum hose is going to go to the bottom. Let me assist you here, George. Alright, so just got those 4 holes to line up. Watch that cable behind it. You want me to hold it while you get the bolt started? Yeah. Alright, so throttle body time. You've seen in our past videos, rather than putting like the factory nut, where there's a nut on one and a bolt on the other, we're going to change it to the stainless Allens. Well, the Allens that we have that we typically use for our regular throttle bodies, there isn't enough thread going into the aluminum manifold. Rule of thumb on aluminum, you should go twice the depth of the diameter of the bolt. If it is steel, you can go 1 times the length, the diameter of the bolt. So 8 millimeters, quick calculation, should go in 16 millimeters. That isn't 16 millimeters. Well, you saw the piece that George did on the proportioning valve where he counterbored and ran the stainless bolt in. Well, we just decided we'd do the same thing with this throttle body because it'll look pretty trick. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the diameter of the head and go ahead and take it to our counterbore machine and run that in so that this will drop flush. I think that'll look pretty cool. So let me show you what that looks like. That's what it looks like right now. So let me counterbore it. I'll show you what it looks like. Esther, she's just telling me all the things that I really keep distracted. I keep trying to, you know,
catch me off guard. I wasn't ready.
Catching me off guard too. I'm like trying to drill my throttle body and make these bolts fit, and she keeps distracting me with, what about this guy? What about that guy?
Well, they've all
See how
got
tall
questions.
I am? Every picture is me like this.
Yeah, it is.
People meet me in person and go, I thought you was 14 feet tall and you're only like 6. The camera adds 3 inches, by the way. So yeah, you see how much better that looks? Is it even focusing? Let me do this. Yeah, you see the camera always focuses on me. In the settings here, we have it to set on the face, and you can type in the name of the person, and for some reason it picks me up and nobody else. So every time it comes up, it says John next to it. So see how much better that looks? It's pretty trick, isn't it? You like that?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's what it looks like now the throttle body is on there. Manifold is all cleaned and painted, so it looks pretty good, and I really like the way that turned out. It just looks nice and clean, right? So this is one of the things that you see. Here I am, chopping my head off again.
Always chopping.
I always look like. Look at that. Even you look like you're 9 feet tall.
Hey, look, I'm John.
That's it. It's like I'm down here. So these just came off, or George pulled them off here, and this brake hasn't been working very well. This one moves. This one's solid. These are supposed to float. This is the Caliper Bracket, by the way. You've seen in our other episodes how we paint this. Well, this is mounted, and then the caliper is supposed to float on here via these pins. So you've heard of a 2-piston design caliper. That's where there's a piston on each side. This one, there's only a piston on one side. So as it squeezes, it pulls the caliper over. Well, with these pins locked up, the caliper is only giving you about 50% of your braking pressure, which means you got Type R calipers on and you're not getting all your braking power. You're getting probably less than stock. So we're going to be rebuilding these, pulling these apart, painting them, maybe clear coating them.
Yeah, something.
Maybe, I'll just leave them like they are.
Yeah.
Clean them with WD-40. So, no, you're going to see these. This is going to be beautiful. And obviously the other part of the caliper too. It's getting new rotors, new brake pads, new stainless lines. It's going to look pretty good.
Everything.
Yeah. Alright.
See if we can get that in the vise and get it out maybe.
Yeah. We'll probably have to get new parts for it. What do you say that is?
Incredible either way.
They're still going. Amazing.